I just did. I just did. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like this.
Oh, okay.
It's better. During bonus? We don't need all that background nonsense on the during bonus. Come on.
So
Yeah.
I know that at one point in your life,
Mm-hmm.
you were a big Colorado Buffaloes fan.
Yeah, my brother called me. My brother never calls me. I love my brother, but we're not like that most of the
Yeah.
time. We're very different people. Called me tonight just to ask me how I felt about Dion. And I didn't know it was a fit. I'd heard a rumor. I'd seen like a link or
Yeah.
something in passing, and I'm not really dialed in anymore. And I didn't know it was a thing until he told me, and I was like, you know what? If he wins 6 games, that's an improvement. Fuck yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Why not? He'll recruit his ass off. I know he'll recruit his ass off. So I think it's going to be wild. I
Pretty cool.
mean, who knew this was going to be his path? Like, I still
Right.
don't know. I'm convinced by him as a head coach, but if he hires decent coordinators and people are going to want to coach for him,
Yep.
and he recruits his ass off, hey, you know what? Colorado football's been dog shit for so long. I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take it. Let's do it.
Was really hoping that your Broncos would pull it off today too for me, but
Did not even know who they were playing. That's how out I am on that.
They were in
so
your neck of the woods.
So out. No, I
Baltimore.
had no idea. No idea. I mean, I'm sure my producer will bring it up on Tuesday or something.
Washington Football Club?
No, the Baltimore. He's talking about Baltimore. Jesus Christ. We lost another game where we didn't score a touchdown. Yay.
They scored.
Yay.
They scored the touchdown in the last 30 seconds. The Ravens. They were up 9-3.
Fucking shit.
Yeah.
Man.
And McManus missed a field goal. It was like a 60-yarder at the buzzer.
Man,
That
I was
would've won it.
I really was mildly like, yes, we finally got a fucking quarterback.
Yeah. Well, he's
And
been
now we
terrible.
Don't have a fucking quarterback.
No.
No.
I think the clothes have come off.
That's like, see what? Let me think about this. Like, is it, man? Who's the MLS DP that you were like, oh, that's gonna fucking be great, and then it just wasn't. It was just garbage.
Pirlo.
Who was that? Pirlo? Yeah, maybe Pirlo.
Lampard?
But Pirlo was,
Gerrard.
I think
I don't think
everybody.
anyone thought Gerrard was going to be
No, I don't think
everybody
everybody thought Gerrard was gonna be good.
Yeah.
Maybe Lampard. Maybe Lampard was like, oh, he still got something in the tank, and then he was
Pirlo,
okay. Lampard was better than people thought he was.
Because
Than people remember.
Pirlo's game can still be good as you get older.
Yeah, and it just it wasn't. But he had no space to work on that field. Like Pirlo needs 60 yards to ping a ball, and he didn't have 60 yards. He's put in the first row if he's hitting the ball 60
Playing on
yards.
an indoor field.
What about Pity?
Oh wait, by the way, that is something we could talk. I mean, if you want to do soccer, that NYCFC got their stadium deal done. We haven't talked about that. I mean, I
What
don't
about
know.
Garth going to freaking Atlanta?
Yeah, I'm not
Man.
shocked by that. I'm not shocked
After
by
being
it.
reelected in Seattle.
Yeah, that's funny. They reelect. They had the democracy. That was the Drew Carey thing. They reelect him, and then he's like, "Nah, you know what? I'm out." And
Awkward for Bocanegra, right? You're the general manager, and you bring the best general
gotta be
manager in
out.
MLS history.
Bocanegra's been shit in the bed, though.
You got to think what Lagerwaite's got as guy he wants to bring in for that.
Yeah, probably. I don't know what Bocanegra's contract situation is.
Craig Wable's got big shoes to fill, man. That's a tough. Like to follow
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, I mean he was doing it in Salt Lake after Garth left. I don't remember how well he did. I remember talking to him in LA at the coaches convention one year. I mean, yeah, there's
But
a lot.
if you're an Atlanta fan, at least you feel that there's someone at the helm now that can save before it goes. I mean, they still have amazing attendance, but
Yeah.
another couple of years like this,
Oh yeah, for sure.
you're gonna lose that momentum that you gained right out of the gate.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
didn't the coach come from Seattle?
Yes, Gonzalo Pineda was coaching for Schmetzer in Seattle. Yes.
So he's got that relationship there too. So
Yeah, for sure. Garth is an incredibly smart dude. Every time I've talked to him,
I just can't believe that
Jeez.
Garth Lagerwey was on the block, and the Galaxy kept Chris Klein. Garth Lagerwey's on the block, and you need a new president, and you're gonna let him go over to Atlanta.
maybe he didn't want the LA job. Maybe they offered it to him. Maybe they asked him, and he didn't want it. Maybe he didn't want
he
it.
knew. Maybe he knew shit was
That's a
coming down
mess,
the pipe.
dude. Maybe he doesn't want to work for AEG. Like I don't know that I would sign up for AEG right now.
Hey, take it easy, huh?
What? What I
Then
missed
take
something?
it easy. It's my team.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah, okay. Your team that just got hit with sanctions from 2019.
Bad enough we brought a rapist to our team. Now is this too?
Yeah, and he was a DP when he wasn't a DP and all that stuff, right? Yeah.
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
telling you right now, this thing gonna be the end of it.
This-
I wonder. It brings everything into question in a number of different teams. To be honest with you.
Oh, no, for
LA,
sure.
absolutely.
but
LAFC.
this is okay. So this
Galaxy
is
has some other players.
this is the thing about what happened with Miami, and it's sort of like Spygate, right? Like, remember when Spygate happened? And
Jared has no idea what that is.
You know what Spygate was, Jared?
When Patriots scouted a team.
Holy my
Why
mind
didn't you?
is- Dude, Jared knows
Really?
nothing about American football. I bet you he doesn't even
What?
know. Never mind.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Asshole.
Do you not?
Go ahead.
How many players on a team?
Oh, I don't know. 11? I think 11, just like soccer.
he did.
It's
He
true.
got there. He got there
Good job.
eventually.
Yeah.
Got there eventually.
Another thing they copied from us.
The thing
Go ahead,
about
Nick. Go ahead,
the
Nick.
thing
No,
about
let Nick finish.
Okay.
I don't know what.
all right, all right. You want to play a quick trivia game of American football trivia with NFL trivia with Jared Dubois? I'd love that. That would be
Yeah,
amazing. Let's
that
do
would
it.
be pretty good.
Let's go. Let's go.
Bring it.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
What do you got?
well,
Okay, so
Can't we
what,
be reasonable? though?
worst?
what NFL Hall of Famer is now the head coach of Jason's favorite college football team?
Oh, that he doesn't.
I don't even know
that.
what his favorite
That
college
just
football
happened.
team is.
That just happened.
To
He doesn't
know that, I would have to know what his favorite college
No,
football
you
team
can't
is.
ask him current event stuff.
Is
You have
there
to
a
ask him like
team in
history.
Sacramento, Jason? I'm just kidding. Colorado Buffaloes.
My team is the Colorado Buffalo, University of Colorado.
What team did the guy coach for before?
He was coaching in Mississippi for Jackson State University.
So I don't know anything about college football. I tell you right now. But you're asking me just basic football knowledge. I thought we were
Well,
going to say.
no, that's a current event thing. So Deion Sanders just got hired to be the head coach of Colorado.
Deion Sanders?
Deion Sanders.
Yes.
Yeah, you know who Deion
of
Sanders is.
Of the Cincinnati Reds?
Yeah. Look at
true,
you.
yeah.
Oh my God. What a fool.
Man, I don't know what's better. I don't know what's better, that Jerry knows this shit or that Nick is so floored by you having basic knowledge.
Here's
How
the
the
thing.
hell did you know he played for the Reds?
What do you mean? I watch sports, dude. Like I play a character on the show. You know that, right?
So
I play a character on the
Nick
show.
is convinced that you were just a soccer guy and nothing else, apparently? Is that what I'm getting
You
out
have
of this?
said
Ask me
many
more
times.
stuff. Ask me more stuff. I bet you I know more than you think I know.
This is Wheelhouse. You ready for this?
Go for it.
Okay. What famous what NFL wide receiver wrote a book called is it Pass Me the Damn Ball? Give Me the Damn Ball?
Man,
This is also locally relevant to you. No, okay.
No. I mean, obviously, at all-time like wide receivers, you think like Jerry Rice, but when you think about like someone that had attitude to write something, it'd be something like Randy Moss. But I would guess if you're saying it's local to me,
I will say that this guy had more attitude than talent. In the end, I think it's a fair assessment. Yeah.
is it? I don't know. Is it the guy that the Raiders signed that just walked off? I can't think what the guy's name is. The guy that just like stopped showing up, and I can't think
This book has got to be 20 years old now, right?
Oh, it's 20 years old.
The book is at least 20 years old.
God, I'm thinking
right?
like I can't remember who was.
Just
back,
give me
back in
the-
the day for the Rams was like Eric Dickerson.
Just
he's
give
running
me the
back.
damn ball. Just give me the damn ball was the name of the book.
He says wide receiver.
Yes, he was a wide receiver.
So who the hell was a wide receiver?
Older than
for-
20 years old.
You don't think he was talented?
I just
No, he
trying
was
to think-
talented, but he wasn't talented enough to back up just a book called Just Give Me the Damn Ball."
So it has to be the Raiders or the Rams. I'm trying to think. Dickerson was a
no,
running back.
locally relevant in a different way, Jared. A different way.
college?
Yeah.
Oh god damn! What do you want me to think? College wide receivers? USC.
Well, he
back
was
in
a
the day.
There you go. Go with it. Go with it. Go with it.
I can only think
Go
of
with
running
it.
backs though. I can only think of
Okay.
running backs.
Well, you're probably thinking Marcus Allen and older, like
Yeah,
really
that's what
old
I'm thinking,
guy.
like,
No, Keyshawn
Rodney
Johnson.
Pete. Oh, Rodney Pete was a quarterback. Never mind.
Keyshawn
Okay.
Johnson.
So this is where you had me stumped because I was thinking it was Michael Irvin. I
No.
thought Michael Irvin wrote that book.
No.
But now, yeah, you're right. I agree.
Keyshawn
that
Johnson
he
wrote that book.
Was all talk and not.
I know
I mean,
Keyshawn
he was
Johnson is.
okay.
He was
wasn't-
good. He was good. He just wasn't like Hall of Fame level
Right.
good.
I agree.
I'm trying to
I
think
agree.
who Keyshawn Johnson played for in the NFL.
He played for the Jets and the Bucks.
The Jets. Yeah, and the Buccaneers. Yeah.
I think he won a Super
Anyway.
Bowl with the Bucks.
Yeah, but I know who Keyshawn Johnson is.
Was that the
I thought
Brad
you'd ask me
Johnson.
stuff like
Yeah.
like who's the Lombardi Trophy?
who's the Derek Brooks? Derek Brooks team?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
John Gruden was the coach.
John Gruden was the coach. Yeah.
John Gruden, who coached in the Super Bowl. It was Tampa Bay versus the Raiders.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
he's talking about. That's the one we're talking about.
2002.
It was in San
Yeah,
Diego,
after he
where I
left,
lived.
after he left the Raiders
Yeah.
to go coach. Yeah.
And was that the Tuck game or the incomplete pass game, or that was not? Was it leading up to that?
That was a
one?
couple years before. That was 2001.
Yeah.
I might have
But
been the
that-
year before.
But
Might
that
have
was
been the
Brady
year
anyway,
before.
huh?
It was Brady against the Raiders in the snow.
And the Patriots.
What you forget is I played a crap load of fantasy football for a number of years.
Really?
Good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I had a keeper league that played for almost 10 years, and then I haven't done that for probably the last 8. So I don't know anything about anything right now, other than the fact that my wife's doing fantasy, so it's kind of dragging me back in. But
Yeah.
the last time that I remember, I picked up Frank Gore as a rookie and kept him most of his career. You know, like
Second
I
all-time
remember-
leading rusher, I believe.
Yeah, so that was a big one for me.
My son is into fantasy football, and so like he'll talk to me about who he's playing, who should I play, It's like, man, I used to play also, but I'm not. I
Yeah.
can't do fantasy football. I just can't.
I remember
now.
one year. Go ahead.
I was to say now what I'm concerned about. Well, not even really concerned about, but I'm excited for, is here in Ohio coming up on January 1st. Gambling is legal,
Gambling. Yeah.
so I'll be able to play and lose all that money that I was just deposited in my account last week.
All
Yeah,
of
the
our
Patreon's just get paid.
all of our World Cup coverage was like sponsored by different companies we usually have, and I had to do live reads
Yeah.
during the show. So it's like there's a I don't want to give the I guess it doesn't matter free plug. It was one of the
Kind of paywall.
one of the like one of the sports book apps, like the app, like whatever, and 115 free bets if your money line bet wins, blah blah. It's the longest ass read ever, and it just I don't know. I've made one significant sports bet my entire life. I lost it, and I haven't made a bet since then.
Really?
I don't do
And-
much
and this
sports
is- we're
betting.
talking
I
15
enjoy
years
some
ago.
gambling, but not sports gambling. I don't know. I've never been a sports gambler, but if you
I placed
put me
a
on
bet
craps
one
table or
time.
poker table, ooh.
Yeah, I went to the casino. I was there for a podcasting conference a couple years ago when the Bengals were in the playoffs and they lost to the Texans, and I had placed a bet on the Bengals to win their playoff game.
Yeah, don't bet on your own team. That's a mistake.
Right?
Because
I don't know-
emotionally, it just does not work.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw in the chat towards the end when we were doing the
The show.
talk about the Patreon. No, we're talking about the Patreon towards the end, but there was someone that asked for this, and I know we've done it a number of times, but we got to remember that sometimes people join Patreon later than others, and a guy
Yeah.
asked, like, tell the story of like how we met, and like that started. We can do it quickly though. We can do it quickly
Yeah,
for some
sure.
people that maybe had never
We could do
heard.
that.
Other
I
people,
suppose.
we'll go through it quick because I know a lot of the people. Jason was a big
So
star.
Jared was living under a bridge, and I came across him in my shopping cart. I don't know why I had a shopping
I was
cart.
blowing drifters for quick fix.
It was Jared and Anthony Kiedis just hanging out under a bridge, doing stuff I can't talk about.
Bravo.
On the air. Yeah.
Sorry, I drew some blood.
Yeah.
No, so you were doing Batch Fit USA, your blog.
So yeah. So I started MatchFit USA December.
By the way, how'd you
in
pick
fact,
that name?
Holy
I don't
shit!
think I know that.
We're a couple of weeks away from the, dear God, 14-year anniversary of the launch of MatchFit USA.
How'd you pick that name?
So the vague recollection I have is that the phrase I was just looking for something, right? Everybody got to name their blog something, and the phrase match fit, I took that beyond just like the physical fitness thing and kind of made it like this, like it's kind of like the US is match fit to play with the rest of the world. Like we're at that level. Like we're not just physically fit, but I don't know. It was.
Okay.
I'm not sure I thought it through really well. I just needed something. I wanted USA in there, I guess, and I named it that. And I had some people say, "Oh, it sounds like you're like a fit, like a coaching thing or something." I was like, "I guess I don't know. It's just what I did." So yeah, I started that in December of 2008. In 2000, by early 2009, I was doing a podcast. It was garbage. It still exists. I'd say
Your
this every
own
time I tell the
podcast,
story.
Batch Fit USA podcast.
Yeah, this is the Match Fit USA podcast. The first couple episodes still exist on the internet because I used a free hosting solution because I had $0. Later that year, it was like a very small community. Later that year, I sort of got connected with the guys from first Champion Soccer Radio Network,
CSRN.
and also Winning Ugly. So Scott Borenstein and Ginge and Zach Woosley and all those
Brian
those
Bentley,
people.
Sarah.
Sort of. I wasn't as tight with Brian Bentley and Sarah, and I was more about I kind of formed a relationship with Scott and Zach. Actually, the very first guest host on MatchFit USA's podcast was Mark Fishkin. He's the first one I asked to do it with me, because it was just me and somebody said you need a co-host. I was like, okay, I probably do, and then I went and got Mark to do it with me, and then it was kind of like a rotating cast, or like there were a couple different people, and then eventually Zach did it, and I was like, oh, this is really good. Let's do this. And it was the MatchFit USA podcast, and then we decided to rebrand it as the American Soccer Show.
Ass.
And again, it was all like, we're going to do it with CSRN, and they're going to put it on. And I didn't know. I mean, my perception was that CSRN was actually something like decently sized and well run. And maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. They had a website. They had this thing that you could listen to. They were, was it? What were their names, Jared?
The guy that ran it,
Graham, and then another guy.
I remember Graham.
They sort of did.
No, Graham.
No, they sort of did this thing that World Football Daily. It was the same idea where you produce your own radio show, and then you
Try to
basically
somewhere. Yeah.
you pay to place it on a syndication, and then basically you sell ads against that and try to make money. And so they were doing something like that. I think it was the 2Gs was their show for a while.
Yeah, and they had a Leeds one.
It was very much like English people in America talking about soccer.
For sure.
This is what it was.
Which is what Football Daily was.
Yeah, and Winning Ugly, like they wanted to be on the network, and then American Soccer Show. We kind of pushed that idea and all that stuff. And then I don't remember what year it was, Jared. I mean, obviously it was heading into 2011, so they're not too. I mean, 2008 to 2011, I was doing other stuff.
To kind of parallel this, so I was. It's funny. I can't remember what the first thing I started doing was. I know I was posting a little bit on Big Soccer, and then Twitter came out, and I transferred.
Was it like what was your name over there?
It was Wax
like
888.
Oh, I thought it was something else.
And I transferred over to
6969.
Twitter, and I remember Twitter being a better place for me to kind of, I don't know. I just felt like the short form, snarky thing was something I liked about Twitter.
Right up your alley.
140 characters, limiting it. You didn't have to have. You could hide if you didn't know a lot by saying a little and just making a good punch. So I started doing stuff on Twitter, and then at some point I remember what it was. I do. Okay, because I remember exactly what it was now. Trevor was starting a website called American Soccer Reader.
Yeah, Trevor Hayward has now entered the story.
Yeah, and a big piece of this early part of the story. And Trevor was starting American Soccer Reader, and he put out on Bid Soccer, hey, anyone want to write about, I think he went to a bunch of team threads and says, anyone want to write about their club? And it was a Galaxy. I was like, oh, I've been thinking about doing something. I feel like I know enough that I could do something. But I said, here's my only thing. If I do it, I want to do it with my personality. I don't want to write match recaps. That's not my thing. Like, if you want someone who wants to write match recaps, find someone else. If you want someone who's just going to try to have some personality,
you wanted to do a Larry King, but for the Galaxy.
Yeah. So I like, if you want someone that's just going to try to do a personality thing with it, like I would like to try that. So he let me, and I started writing a Galaxy piece there.
Now, hold on. I this is not a shot against Trevor. I just want to kind of set the context of the times. When you say he let you, he published your stuff on his website, but there was no money changing hands, right?
Yeah,
he
but
wasn't.
No, there was no money changing hands. But at the same time, I wasn't doing it myself. I didn't know how to put up.
No, I understand that. There was an outlet there. He was putting his effort behind.
There was no I was just trying to get exposure, and it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, so
right.
I wanted to kind of show,
by the way, I wasn't making anything at this point. I picked up some low level jobs in some places, but I was between 2008 and 2011. I made a little bit of money doing soccer stuff. I think I got some freebie stuff for 2010 World Cup stuff.
My thing was, I used to read soccer stuff, and I was so bored to tears with it. So freaking bored reading soccer stuff. I was like, why is no one ever having fun with this? Outside of Tino Palace, what I've talked to you many times, that there was a pseudonym of a guy that he was working for he worked for the Colorado Rapids, I believe. But he was doing a great article on MLS soccer back in the day. But I started writing for the Galaxy stuff, and I was just doing it in my own kind of style, making jokes, a little bit of recap, but making jokes with it and stuff. And it did pretty well. And Trevor talked to me about, like, hey, what do you think about just doing a regular, like your own thing, not making it Galaxy related, just doing your own thing. And that's when I started writing Hating from Hollywood, which was like my piece that I would write once a week, once every 2 weeks. And it was just American soccer. Everything was fair game, and whatever I wanted to write about, and however I wanted to write about it. And it was cool because it was freed up. I could just do whatever I wanted. And with that, I got approached as well by Winning Ugly to start doing some guest spots. Like, hey, he's writing jokes over here. Like,
and there was also Around the League was happening.
Around the League. Yeah, I'm sorry. That was actually the lead-in. So because I was covering Galaxy for ASR, they had me start covering the Galaxy for Around the League, and that's the tie-in to CSRN. Then they're like, hey, you seem to write jokes and say some funny stuff. Would you want to come on around Winning Ugly? And for me, I don't know how you felt about Winning Ugly. For me, it was like a homework assignment because I had to write jokes. Like I'm writing stuff. And for me, that's not the way I operate. Usually I'm off the cuff. I just like react. But that show, I don't think works that way. So
no,
I would
you have
spend
to
a
have,
lot of time
you
writing.
get, I mean, I don't want to get into what Winning Ugly was, but for people who don't know, there was a show in England that was like, it's a radio show because it's even before podcasts existed, I think. Yeah. That was sort of,
Wait, don't tell me? No.
No, it's like I guess it kind of was a wait, don't tell me kind of thing, where it was
but there
like
was a soccer version.
There was setups, and like current events and news stories were made as setups for people to make jokes. That's all it was, right? And there was like a panel, and then the host gives out points arbitrarily or whatever, right? And then ultimately there's a winner. So Scott Bornstein and his crew in Texas had Winning Ugly, which was that style of show, and I think we all liked. So
you and I were both making appearances on that. We were doing that, and then at some point Zach wanted to back out of American Soccer Show, or I just filled in first. I think I just filled in.
I don't remember the timeline.
So I can't remember if he suggested me or you said, "Oh, do you want to fill in for Zach?" Something along those lines happened though, and Zach couldn't make it for a bit. So
I don't think that you and I had any real contact before. I
think it was just superficial. Like we knew who each other were on Twitter, kind of.
Yeah,
and that was about it. Because I
read Hating from Hollywood. I read it,
and I was also doing This Week in U.S. Soccer tweets, which was a big thing I did for Trevor back in the day, where I would just grab what I thought were the best tweets every week.
I do remember that. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah,
so
for sure.
I was familiar with you because I would select stuff from that.
That's
but
how old Twitter is, by the way.
Yeah, and we just kind of started doing. I filled in for Zach. It was a good vibe, and I think Zach was ready to kind of go out of that. I don't think he enjoyed talking.
Yeah, he burned out on.
He was burned out on over country anyway.
He was a hardcore Everton fan,
Dynamo.
and then. He was Dallas at first.
Dallas. Yeah, first he was
and then he switched to Houston for reasons I don't remember. But yeah, he basically burned out, and I was in the very early stages. Like maybe we can make it as a business. I actually went to Texas and stayed with Scott and met with those guys, and we tried. And I did a Winning Ugly in person in Scott's house, and we were trying to trying to figure out how to make this a business and all this stuff. Ultimately we didn't do that. But that's what I was doing the show with Scott, and then, with Zach, and then he backed out. You stepped in, and it was like I said,
Trevor offered us money to go take our show to another network.
So we did American Soccer Show for a while, and then Trevor came to us and said, "I can actually pay you to do the show," which we weren't getting any money for doing American Soccer Show. And we were like, yeah, okay, sure, that's great. I mean, my kid at that point my first one was 3, just turned 3, I guess.
Yeah.
And he also said we could do video, we can do all this stuff.
Yeah, that was the big thing. It's like, hey, do you want to do something that's different than everything else that's out there? Because other people were doing podcasts. That wasn't new. Like, do you want to do something different? Do you want He's like, if we do this, I want to do video. I want to do live. I want to do callers. I want to do like all that stuff. So it's a more. And part of it was too like pregame, postgame, like halftime show for U.S. national teams. Because the thought was when you're leaving the game and you're getting in your car, there's no live radio to listen to. Yeah, like every other sport, you can listen to the postgame of whatever you were at.
We were doing that. Yeah, our big moments. I remember we ended up there was a qualifier. I want to say God, it was maybe El Salvador.
It was El Salvador's one that was in my
It
head.
wasn't a hex game because El Salvador wasn't in the hex, but it was there was some qualifier and it was happening outside the country and there was like no TV in the U.S. for some reason or something.
Yeah, and we weren't using YouTube at the time. We were using Ustream.
Ustream. I was going to say
And
Justin TV, but it was Ustream.
That's the
right.
game that we got put on the front page of.
Yeah, just Trevor like got them to put us on the front page, and we think we had like 50,000 listening at
Yeah, I
one
think it was
point or
40
something
yeah.
like. I don't remember the numbers exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was
cool. But that's
it
how
was
we
it
ended
was
up starting the
everything
show.
was fucking new and everything was fucking raw and
It was
we
kinda
were
cool. It was like
just
pirate radio,
making we were just making shit. We had no and
And
you know
Nick was doing similar things over with like his Cincy stuff and everything like that. Like
Yeah.
he was, everyone's just like, I think I can do this. The problem is,
it was a very different world.
we all were doing it in the time before there was money in the game.
Yeah.
That
It
was
was-
the
it was
big
a
part. That
different
was the
world.
hard part.
we didn't
No one
even
was
know
getting paid.
like did YouTube exist? I mean, I don't remember.
Yeah, it
Like,
did.
Well, just imagine if Patreon had been around back then, because there
But there
were
was
so
n-
many shows so few shows doing it.
Right,
We
yeah.
would have been able to corner. We could have, because you crowdfunded a few times for Soccer Morning and stuff like that.
Well,
and that's what
we
kept you guys
crowdfunded
going.
for the best soccer show in that for
Patreon was
years.
definitely available.
That's where we
then.
got these mics right here.
Well, we didn't know we weren't using Patreon. I think hadn't really crested. But anyway,
I was
we
using
crowdfunded
Patreon.
the mics.
I was using Patreon with my Bengals show back in 2012.
Oh wow.
And so it was definitely, and I
Yeah.
even told you, I remember telling Jason, dude, you got to get on Patreon. Because
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't.
You would do that crowdfunding thing
Well, we
every
didn't
so
own the
often.
show
like,
was part of it too. You know,
Right.
like we don't own this one. Like we had a lot of control over it, but we didn't own it.
Sure, yeah, there was that thing. That was
'cause, yeah,
was
you
the
would do that
employees.
thing where you would, I don't remember what the website was, but you would ask for donations. And
Indiegogo.
Yeah, it
Was
was
it
we did Indiegogo, I think.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
I contributed to it, but yeah, I was like, man, you guys should be doing a monthly subscription. Like I would pay
Yeah.
to watch this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you also were in a different situation where Trevor kind of ran it.
Well, he had an idea for it, and listen, he got really close to doing some really cool stuff. Like if you think about it, at one point we changed from American Soccer Radio to North American Soccer Network, and eventually to Backheel. But
Yeah.
at that time, like he had a lot of the big shows that people were listening to. Like it was us, it was Corner of the Galaxy, it was Seeing Red, it was what was the Timbers one?
I don't remember which one
But
that
it was a big Timbers one. Like,
was it Stumptown or the other one? I don't remember
the other one, but I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was. But like a number of the also had Open Wide for Soccer.
Open Wide for
up
some
in
soccer
DC.
was over there,
Like
yeah.
we had a very good network. The problem is he never found the linchpin of how to monetize it and like how to make it so you could get paid on it. And that's
Yeah, like I've done this before. It's been a long time since I did it. Like I had a falling out with Trevor because of the choice I made to go full time and sign a contract with SiriusXM. Like I chose that, and Trevor had worked the angles to get Soccer Morning. Soccer Morning is not really part of this discussion, but obviously Soccer Morning came out of the Best Soccer Show. In 2013, we started Soccer Morning. We funded to start that up and to do that and carry us through the first 6 months, and then we had a bunch of like 6-month contracts with various websites. I think World
Soccer Talk was one.
World Soccer Talk was one of them. There was this thing called Soccerly that was a startup that
Oh yeah, I remember
basically
Soccer League. Yeah,
died at one point. We were part of Kick TV.
Kick
right?
TV.
Both,
Yeah,
both of us were part of Kick. Both shows were part of Kick TV for a while.
Yeah,
And Trevor did the thing where he sold the show to SiriusXM, but said we'll sell ads against our time, right? So we wouldn't get paid by Sirius. We would get paid if we sold ads, that they would give us half the inventory. And there was a point where there was some money coming in, but not a lot. And I had I had gone through a separation and a divorce and all this shit, and I had my kid, and my ex-wife was a mess, and I was like, I have to have regular income. And I started dating my current wife, and I got offered. My boss now pulled me aside one time and said, "Hey, I can give you money. I can pay you. I can only pay so much for the show, and obviously, there are concerns there." And I said, "Okay, well, I have to do this for me." It ended my relationship with Trevor.
because at that same time, I was kind of done.
You were kind of done. I
I
remember
was kind
that.
of done. It had
Yeah.
been about 4 or 5 years at that point. I think we've been doing the show.
2015, so
Yeah,
4
5
years, 4.5 years,
Four,
something like
yeah.
that.
So I was at the point where it was like, I don't think I was starting a new job, the one I'm still at now. I was starting a new job at that point, and I was also the old job was really taxing me.
He finally got out from under the bridge, got a new job.
Yeah, so I
Had
didn't
some
have to
younger
blow,
kids.
blow drifters anymore.
Yeah,
And,
no.
but yeah, I so
The nice thing
basically-
though is that you always asked their names. You weren't just a random
Yeah.
guy. You actually
So
got to know
basically,
them a
his
little bit.
two most essential properties both kind of went belly up, and it was going to be either way because the way you guys fall out, our show was going to do it. But I think me leaving let you know that okay, you don't have to stay around for me. Like
Yeah.
I'm done. Jason, do
Yeah.
whatever's best for you, man.
I
can
remember
take it
having
or
some
leave it.
conversations with you, like, dude, I want to
Yeah.
leave you hanging. I don't want to fuck you over and all
No.
that stuff. And
Because
I
you
agonized.
had the chance
man.
to do what every mother effing dude in the scene wanted to do at that point.
Yeah,
You got to live the dream and make money doing what you wanted to do. It wasn't going to happen for me. I always knew it wasn't going to happen for me because we do very different things, you and I. My
Yeah.
thing is not something that is.
By the way, I'm 7 years into doing radio, and I'm still my brain still says Jared should have a regular spot on my show somewhere, like once a week. Call him up, just have. Now I know you well enough to know that you would want it to have some structure to it. You want to know what it is. You'd want it to have you'd want to think about it, and that's a little bit too much for me to ask you right now, rather
Yeah.
than just like throw you on the air and have you shoot the shit with me.
Yeah,
So-
but also like that's your thing. Like that's your thing.
no,
you
but
know?
that's the thing. Like, okay,
But that
you really-
show over there has always been your thing.
No, but you want to pull back the curtain a little bit on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think I do a bad show. I like my show. I think I'm good at what I do. Now, maybe that people don't think I'm good
I
at
could
what I
never
do.
do
I don't give a
what you
shit.
do.
I think I'm good at what I do. And obviously I've gotten contract after contract. They keep me around. That's not the only indicator that I'm good, but that's whatever. That show is a straight show for the most part. Now I make jokes. Sometimes I do voices. Sometimes I even do weird stuff.
You do Angela?
I don't do Angela. I should do Angela. I got to work in Angela. I got to
You
do
need to
that.
have a women's
God
national
damn
team
it.
player named Angela. Then you could do
Angela. There is Angela Hookleys out there. She's working for U.S. Soccer,
she,
right?
She just got her name changed.
Angela. I want that show to be more irreverent and more weird and more funny and not have it be. Look, I don't know that my boss would love it all the time. Actually, worry
but
about
point
that
to a
part.
show on that network that does that though.
No, you're right. I always think so. But this is the thing. I grew up listening to Stern, to some guys in DC who were like that, were shock jock type guys. I don't want to be a shock jock. I don't need girls in bikinis in my studio. But what I wanted to do was to do bits and to actually build the culture of the show that is independent of all the other soccer shit that's out there. Like I want it to be even Rome did that. Like certainly what Levitard's approach is the fucking approach I wanted to do for the soccer
When
show.
he's asking
But-
Walker Zimmerman about Pulisic's balls.
Yeah, well, there's Chris Whittingham in the room when they're like, hey, what about Chris? How's Christian's penis?
Yeah, that's what it
Penis
was.
doing?
How's this feel?
His penis.
I'm gonna ask you a question. I've never asked you this before. So if it's on the spot and you don't want to answer, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about your time doing SiriusXM,
Yeah.
what's the guest that you can't wait to have back every time?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because you have certain guys that give you good content, but what's the guy that you look forward to because the conversation is what you like? Unless the content is the thing. Because you get a
Man,
lot of regulars, you have a lot of same people back a lot.
Yeah.
And this isn't the same thing as who's a good interview. Like I'm
No,
asking,
I
like,
got to break out with that. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, who's it easy with, and it's just like a back and forth, and we do.
Because I'll tell
like,
you, at the times I've listened to it, I don't listen. Obviously, I'm working during the day, so I'm not hearing it most of the time. But
Yeah.
I like when you have Chucky Bohm on. I think it's very
Yeah.
natural when you and
That's
Chucky
good.
Bohm are on.
Yeah. Well, we know each other in real life.
I
we
think it
flung
plays.
out,
That's
spent
why
time.
I think it plays.
Yeah, there's
And you've been
those guys.
interviewing him for a long time. I remember when you used to do it on Soccer Mornings.
Yeah, Jesus. That's the thing. Like all those guys, you kind of come up with them.
Chucky Bohm Bohm.
Chucky Bomba. I should use that name on the radio.
That's my.
Just call him
You
Chucky
give me
Bomba.
credit.
I will. Call him Chucky Bomba. Well, I do. I called. I don't think I've ever met Matt Doyle in person. I don't think I have. Maybe I've been in the same room, but I don't know. Maybe we have. Maybe once or twice. Some event somewhere. He didn't always travel, and then anyway, I would travel. I call him Matthew Tiberius Doyle just because I thought it was funny one time to give him the James T. Kirk
Does
treatment.
he have T in his handle?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's just I think he
just
meant
wondering.
one time he tweeted about Star Trek or something. And he came on the radio. I was like, oh, I'm going to call you Matthew Tiberius Doyle. And now every time he comes on the show, he's Matthew Tiberius Doyle. I don't know. I have any reason for it. Other
What's
than
your
that.
answer?
I see. I got to think about this geographic. This is my brain works. I got to think about this geographically, like where these guys are based, and how. Chris Whittingham is good on the radio. Obviously, he's on Levitard's show. He calls soccer games for a living. You know who that is, right?
I know of him. Yes,
He's the guy who
I've
said
seen him.
he scored. He got hit in the penis. He was the guy who said that during a soccer.
Yeah.
What game was that? I don't remember which game it was.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. It was the okay on Tuden.
Yeah, tooted.
Uh,
Tooted. That's great. Yeah,
shit,
it was.
What did he say? Oh, you're right. He did.
It hit him right in the penis. That's what he said. That's
Yeah.
what he said. He's like 25. That dude. I like John Strong on the radio. I'm not gonna. There's no comment about his. I know Nick has his thoughts. No comment on his ability to call a soccer game. I have
like him.
fun talking to him on the radio. I do.
What I like about John Strong-
Stu Holden is great. Stu Holden is
see that.
great
I
on the
see
radio,
that.
and he and I have a rapport for sure.
Oh yeah, I remember when you had the campaign to get him on the show, Soccer Morning. It was
Oh,
awesome.
did we do that? Oh my God, Jesus Christ, man! I can't remember 85% of the shit that I've done. I swear
you
to
guys,
God, I can't remember
you, like,
85%.
You had us tweeting. There was some sort of campaign we
You had a
were
big
all supposed to
Preki
tweet
thing at
at
one point, too.
Stu Holden to get him on the show, and then he came
yeah,
on.
wow, man, we used to do that shit. We'd have campaigns and things, and remember when we were runners up or in the finals
for a podcast award of some
for a
kind.
podcast award, and
You
Mark
guys didn't even know
Maron.
about it until I fucking told you about it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is
yeah,
that what
Mark
happened?
Maron. We were in the same category as Mark Maron or something like
No,
that.
no.
right?
Mark Maron was hosting.
Oh, he was hosting. You're right.
And he did the announcement, and it was like the fantasy football podcast, the best, however Mark Maron talks, the best soccer show, and then we didn't win. The fantasy football program won because it's fantasy fucking football, and we're a soccer show in America.
Yeah,
but it
I
was like,
remember that.
So
Ah,
I
do
told
remember
you about
said
it. I
Yeah.
told you about it, and that's how I found out there was an award show for a podcast award. So then the next year, I campaigned to get us into
I
my
see.
Bengals.
Got it. Oh, okay.
So-
Okay.
How'd you do?
We were finalists. We lost to the fantasy football show for like 4 straight years. We were the Buffalo Bills of
Is
the.
that the Matthew Berry
Okay.
one?
Yes,
Yeah.
met him
Well,
at a podcast.
Where did
award.
he go? Did he go to Roto World? Is that where he went?
right
He
now?
left ESPN, right?
He's at NBC.
Oh, NBC. Excuse me.
He does. He does radio. He's got a show on Sirius XM because everybody fucking does.
Oh wow. I guess it sounds like it.
Or they simulcast whatever he does, or something like that. He's got like a fantasy football happy hour or something that he
Well,
does.
for the one person in the chat that said they didn't know that story, wanted to hear it. There you go.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm just
I
here
feel
because
like
I asked.
I feel like there's other stories that we should tell.
No, Nick was a listener to the show. He was actually a very. I think you were probably a bigger Soccer Morning listener than Best Soccer Show originally, right, Nick?
Well, I mean, I listen to both.
It's
but-
daily though. That's probably one of the things.
because
I
you
do.
would record soccer, best soccer show in the evenings, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So for
Yeah.
me, like I had younger kids, so like there wasn't a chance for me to.
we
sit
did
at the
Monday,
computer.
Wednesday for a long time. Where Sunday
I
was.
don't
We did 2 shows
remember.
a week for the
We
vast
did do
majority.
2 shows like for a long time.
How the hell did we fill 2 shows?
fucking
every
don't
week?
know.
Well, that's why you burned out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, I would
Man.
watch soccer morning
Honestly,
at work.
why I burned out. One of the reasons. Dude still owes me money.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean not a lot, but and then it was just the
I think
constant
I-
promises and not.
I think I asked.
hitting.
I think I offered to make you whole on that, and you turned me down.
Yeah,
if
it's
I
not your
remember
job.
correctly.
It's not your job.
Yeah.
But like it. Listen, I don't need it. Like I'm okay. Like, but it was just like.
Yeah, it was principle
There was
stuff.
it was
Yeah.
the constant
We just
missing. Moving the
there-
goalposts
there-
happened a lot in that network.
moving the goalposts happen all the time for sure.
And so
No, he
I
delivered
didn't
on some
begrudge
things,
Jason when
but
he
he didn't
finally
deliver
wanted
on
to
others.
make something firm out of it. I don't begrudge him at all.
yeah,
Does it suck for Trevor? For sure, it sucks for him. He put a lot of time and effort into everything, but
yeah.
also be out front with us about what the nature of things are. You know, just be honest with us about it. And I wouldn't have paid him as a dishonest
Look,
guy. Just the
one thing-
goalpost kept moving. You know,
One thing I'll say, look, I don't want to be. I know how this is going to come off, right? And I don't know. It's one of those things. Like
I did a lot
beat
of free
myself-
work for that guy. I'm just saying. I
beat myself up all the time for shit like this. Like, is this something I should like? Is this something I should feel or not? Jared already said all feelings are valid, right? All feelings are valid. There is a group, and I name checked them on the show tonight because I honestly don't have anything against anybody, right? I am not beefing with other soccer content people. I'm not. I have no
not
problem
listening.
with you, okay? I know that there is this sense, and look, I've taken my share of hate over the years. I've figured out how to block out a lot of it out. In fact, I'm on the verge of quitting Twitter. Brian Dunseth did it. Sounds amazing. But I think there's this sense that,
I didn't know
he
he quit Twitter.
just last week or 2 weeks ago, because I tried to tag him and he wasn't there, and I asked him what I worked with him. I was like, "Hey, did you quit Twitter?" He's like, "Yep," and I was like, "Okay, sounds great."
Any idea where he's going yet?
He's still doing the same shit. Oh, you mean because of RSL? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't asked him that specifically.
Well, he's not.
He's
doing
gotta
Oh
be.
yeah, that's right. He switched to the other show with that other guy. He's not.
He's doing
it
Grumpy
countertop.
Pundits. He's doing Grumpy Pundits once or twice a week, and he's doing the
With Rennie?
podcast. But I don't know if he gets paid for the podcast. He's taking his family for 6 weeks to Barcelona.
Wow.
He was talking to me about that when I worked with him this week. Anyway, there's
He's
this.
got to be
I
on
think
the
that
MLS broadcast.
there's a sense that that I'm some sort of like establishment. I don't know. There's this weird thing where it's
J.
like, yeah, exactly right. I'm Big J, right? Not the bar and the barstool. Fuck the barstool guys. Like I'm not even talking about them. I'm talking about actual soccer people, good people who know their shit and are making their own content. Now there's this like thing that like they are pushing back, or they're the ones willing to push the push the envelope while the rest of the old guard don't do shit. First of all, I guess I'm old compared to a guy who's 23 or 25 making stuff. I guess I am 100%. There's no arguing that. But motherfucker, I made my shit. Like it's not like I was blessed by the soccer
we
journalist
scrapped for
community. Like we fucking worked hard as hell for this. And sometimes I
You
don't
worked
think
hard. I didn't work hard. You worked hard.
every now and then somebody will say something to me like, "Yeah, man, you busted your ass. You worked so much. I can't believe you're doing all this stuff." And my immediate thought is like, "No, I feel like I'm lazy as fuck. Like I feel like I do nothing, or I don't do enough. I'm not making enough. It's this constant thing." And I'm only now at a point in my life because of a lot of other things that have
Well, what they
happened.
don't know is that you were doing all that while you were doing a full-time job for a long time.
I mean, look, but that's the thing. Like, I don't sit here and say, "Look at me, I did all this shit." If somebody wants to say, "Oh, it looks like you worked really hard," fine, that's your perception. I did basically all I did was not quit soccer. Like I hated all the other things I had to do in my life, so soccer was my outlet. Now soccer's my job, and people want to treat it like it's like I don't know.
Everyone wants to.
It's fine.
downplay
It's fine.
the
I
Kings,
know I shouldn't be bitching about this, and I don't care because I have the job, right? And I'm only getting to this point now in my life where I can stop caring about things I can't control. If somebody wants to hate me, fucking go hate me, dude. Like I can't tell you anything. I'm not going to pick you out individually. I saw somebody for the first time in forever. Somebody retweeted something, and you know how like if you have a guy muted or blocked, somebody muted or blocked, it says tweet unavailable. And I was like, okay, I'm curious. I'll go and open a private private browser to see who that is, because obviously I can't see it if I'm logged in. And it was this guy who had beef with me 5 years ago, maybe more than that. And I was like, I haven't thought about that motherfucker in
Is Ted still a thing?
forever.
Is Ted still?
It wasn't Ted.
I've
I don't
blocked
think
him for
Ted's a
years.
thing.
No, but is he still? Is the thing?
I have no idea.
Neither.
I think he's just like an echo. Like people all our age remember Ted, but otherwise no. And this guy they've got, I don't even want to name check him because it's not important, but somebody I like kind of was responding with snark to a tweet of his. And I was like, that I feel so good that I haven't thought about that, because that guy was in my head for a long time, and he was constantly trying to make shit off of me, right? He was trying to use me to get his rep up, and fuck that. Sorry. That was the
Haters,
thing.
man. Haters.
I know. I said we were going to do 25 minutes. We did 45 minutes.
We
All
knew
right.
better.
Okay.
I knew better.
Sorry,
yeah, I
my
should
fault
have
for
known.
asking for taking that.
Yeah,
that,
you like
path. It was in the
20
chat.
minutes-
Someone asked. I was
20
like,
minutes in, he's like, let's tell the story.
sorry, that'd be quick, and there's no way to make it quick, I guess.
All right, let's we don't have to set a date, but let's talk about the drinking show. Let's talk about the drunk show. We'll figure that out.
First of all, we should.
Well, it
probably,
can't be on a Sunday night.
No.
Yeah, we should.
No.
Oh, okay, I have like every weekend. I've got stuff going on actually. So hold on.
Okay. Well, then if it doesn't work, it
I've
doesn't
got a
work. I'm not going to
concert.
force it.
Saturdays will not work from here to the end. I have something every Saturday, and
And I have something every Friday. depends on the basketball team.
So maybe we still do a Sunday, and it just won't be that show. We'll do something else. Like I can put together some games for the main show.
Oh, we could have a fun show without the drinking for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we could treat it kind of like a bonus show. Like, hey, you guys are going to hear kind of what the Wizards are kind of like a bonus show where Nick prepares some stuff too. You know, like some game stuff. We can play like what hasn't Nick seen. You know, anything like that. Like it could be kind of a slop culture-y one if we wanted. You know, but I can also make some soccer-based games.
Yeah. Let's do that. We'll do something. We'll do something. All right, people. I'm gonna go. It's late. I gotta sleep. Actually, I'm off tomorrow. I really don't have to sleep. Might be having like a hooky day with my wife. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be amazing.
So a nookie day?
Well, that too. But she's.
Nice.
I told her I'm not working tomorrow, and she was like, "Oh, I can call out sick." I was like, "Oh, we might go and do some like not adult
You guys
things."
can go play
necessarily.
disc golf.
I think we're gonna go. No, fuck that. I think what we're gonna do is maybe go somewhere to watch some World Cup in the morning because Japan and Croatia is at 10 our time,
Okay.
and then go skating, Jared. Ice
Like
skating.
rollerblading? Oh,
No, ice skating.
okay.
You know, in the wintertime.
So when I see you
in
with a
parts of
cast, I know what happened.
I'll be okay.
Is
It's been a
Thiago
long
gonna
time
go
since I did
ice
it.
skating?
No, Tiago's gonna be at daycare. The whole point of this is it's just me and
nice.
my wife.
Wait,
That's
so
the whole
wait.
point.
On a day like this, do you get it out of the way at the beginning, or do you let it lead up to it? But then there's like the kid pickup in play.
Very possible it happens first.
Nice, get it out.
Very
of the way.
possible it happens first.
Nice, then fall asleep.
Nah, that's not our move usually. She might. Actually, she might. She loves sleeping. Loves it. It's weird. Loves
Oh,
loves
so
it
does my
more.
wife.
Okay. All right, boys. Send me your stuff when you get a chance.
I'll send you my stuff.
Yeah. Not the stuff that you have under the bridge, the other stuff.
Okay.
Later. Bye.
Bye.